Thank you. I wasn't sure about the lead-in, so I put some things on paper, so as you probably guess, I'm not real good at this shit. And I'm too goddamn old to see anything without glasses on, so I gotta get that together. I can navigate a motorcycle, but not a room. Alright. Some of this will be repeated because I'm not going to rewrite it. I didn't know how this was going to roll, and this is going to be played right as I walked up here. And Jim covered on a couple things, but I'm just going to read what I got and go with it. Anyhow, as you all know, I'm Riot. My real name's Jeff, but most everybody calls me Riot now. I live right here in Jersey with Amy, sitting right there, my two kids, Taylor and Eric.
Support team.
I'm also a member of the Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club, and no, we are not against booze. Quite the opposite, actually. And as you have probably guessed, this is not my cup of tea. I'm an emotional and passionate guy who is way more comfortable on a bike doing 100 miles an hour through crazy mountain roads than standing up here. But I'll do the best I can. So you're just gonna have to bear with me while I stammer through some parts. I want to start on the top, what Jim kind of touched on, and let you know how I got to be up here. Jim and I worked together years ago for some jackass in Keyport. He put it nicer than I would have. I was new to the East Coast and hated that damn job, and it didn't last long, but it lasted long enough to get to know Jim. That was about the time Jamesy was born. We went our separate ways, but we stayed in touch. Now, if you fast forward to 2013, Jamesy was diagnosed and Jim starts his mission. He hit me up with things from time to time, push-ups at events. I was busy in my own little world raising kids and doing my thing, completely oblivious to what was going on. I'd heard of muscular dystrophy and thought that's a tough break. Hope it goes okay. Then as more time passed, Jim kept up his relentless pursuit of supporters. And finally, I paid enough attention to understand the magnitude of the problem. Jim and the other crazy bastards like all of you were all busy doing push-up campaigns, Spartan races, and marathons. I looked in the mirror at this old, broke-down, fat, tattooed biker and thought, I would die doing that shit. At this point, I wasn't sure if Jim needed help or if he was just trying to kill me. Well, I decided to help. So I signed up to do what I do best, and no, not eat pizza and drink Jack Daniels, but ride a motorcycle. This was the fall of 2017. I signed up for that Hope Challenge. This is a 10,000-mile cross-country endurance race from hell, a challenge that pushes you, your bike, and your skills to the limits. The Hope also wants every rider to ride for a cause near and dear to them. The draw to ride for Team Jamesy was strong. I knew Jim and now understood his motivation. Jamesy was also diagnosed on Friday the 13th. This day happens. This day is important to me because I was born on Friday, September 13th. The number 13 and I are strongly connected. And what sealed the deal for me was when I looked into Karen's eyes on a video I watched, and I thought, here's a mom who could use a biker in a fight. So I got on board, and in 2018 I competed in the Hope. It was my first endurance race and the first time fundraising for anything like this. It ended, in the end, we raised $28,000 for Jar of Hope. And as a bonus, I took 5th place in the challenge. Thanks. The ride, and especially my involvement with Jar of Hope, changed me. Gave me a newfound purpose. We were able to rally people from around the world. People talking about Duchenne, people were talking about Duchenne, and awareness was always one of my top goals. The Hope event is every other year. Now, I was already looking forward to 2020, racing for Jar of Hope, but 2 years was a long time to wait. So my wife Amy and I talked about an idea that I had. I still had a live tracker on my bike, and there was a motorcycle challenge known to be one of the toughest out there. Riding, as Jim talked about, the 48 states in 10 days. I looked into it and decided to attempt this tough challenge. But the more I thought about it, I realized that Duchenne was an insanely tough-ass disease that needed to be fought in the same way. So I decided that I would attempt this 48 states in 8 days. Most people thought I was crazy, and a lot of people said it couldn't be done on a stock Harley. Well, I thought otherwise. So we kicked off our fundraising in hopes of raising $10,000. Race day quickly approached, and on August 2nd, as I prepared to take off, we had hit our goal of $10,000 with another $5,000 in the mail. The race against time was underway. While I was out pounding miles and trying to get back home, my Facebook team, led by my wife, continued to raise money. And on August 9th at 9:45 p.m., I arrived back home. I did 48 state loop in 7 days, 21 hours, and 45 minutes. Eight 8,643 miles with 2 hours and 15 minutes to spare. In the end, the Race Against Time raised over $43,000. It was followed by over 2,000 people from 28 countries. Everyone gathered and followed along to see if it could be done. I tell everyone this race was a battle. Just one battle in the war against Duchenne. In a battle, I was just one soldier riding my iron horse, Pearl, while many other soldiers fighting the shadows, promoting and sharing the story. The war against Duchenne, well, that son of a bitch rages on. It's being fought by all the savages like you. Last week, as Jim said, 9 Jar of Hope soldiers competed in the G2G.
Yeah.
That's 171 miles of insanity out in the desert in 7 days. I don't know if you caught that. 171 miles in 7 days. I haven't walked 171 miles this year. Vince, Leanne, Rick, Jake, Christopher, Joseph, Nancy, Charlie, and of course Jim are all here, and these are the soldiers as well. Thank you. And those aren't the only soldiers out there, like he just talked about. There's you marathon running maniacs, and Bobby Howland, that crazy son of a bitch, runs 36 miles on his 36th birthday. I don't know where he is, but that is, to me, seems absolutely insane. So I don't know if you had a head injury as a child or what, but something, man, you're a running fool. Anyhow, and how about all of you did the stadium run, the Bad to Beaver, the Alps to Ocean, world record events, and of course the golf outing. You can't forget that challenging day of drinking beer and losing golf balls. There are a few of the things that the soldiers are doing. Each of you here today are soldiers in this war. This is just a fraction of the soldiers out there getting involved. I also want to recognize our general, the General Jim. He is a driving force behind Team Jamesy. Jim is the kind of general we all respect. He leads by example. Countless marathons, those crazy-ass stage races, shit tons of push-ups, interviews, and the all-important lobbying. And the list goes on and on. The one thing Jim wouldn't do was just go home. Instead, he set out to build the Army. Thank you. I also want to thank the support staff who works tirelessly to make this all work. To the wives and husbands of the Jar of Hope soldiers, my hat's off to you. And my friends here tonight, thank you. My parents, my sister, my daughter, they all flew in for this. My son Eric's. He skipped his senior homecoming dance. be here tonight. Thank you. And last, but not least, I want to thank my lovely wife, Amy. She's a rock that makes this all possible. She deals with my training rides, the races themselves. She's the one who keeps Facebook hopping with updates and motivation. She really drives the donations. And most of all, she deals with the post-race ride. After these races, it takes me a while to get my head right. In the meantime, I wake her up in the middle of the night, thinking the race is still on. She has to assure me we are indeed home, and I can stay there. There were many nights that I got up and I checked my phone looking at a map as I was getting dressed, shaking her that we had to get our asses out the door. And she said, 1, I don't race with you, and 2, the race is long over, go to bed, I need to work tomorrow.
Hey, did you ever get that?
So I know it's not easy watching the live tracker on my bike while I push all limits of Pearl and myself. I know there are many worry-filled, sleepless nights while I'm away. Thank you, darling.
God bless you, Amy.
Amy wanted me to do the race against time in the standard 10 days, not the 8 that I wanted. She said the 10 was challenging enough. I told her, as I've told others, people want to watch the impossible with lots of risk and danger. They feel emotionally connected and feel a part of something you are doing. People can't stop watching when it's insane. And one analogy I often use is, when Evel Knievel jumped a bus, people said, wow, that's cool. When Evel Knievel jumped 35 buses, the whole world stopped to watch. We wanted the world to watch. I wanted people to watch what so many said couldn't be done, yet done. I wanted the world to see the impossible is in fact possible. I wanted the world to see the boys' faces, to see Jamesy, to meet Drew, to know the money they donate is making a difference. And when the impossible turns into the possible, and this fucking disease is stopped for good, everyone will know that they were part of it. They did make a difference in the world. These boys deserve all the help we can give. They deserve a shot at life. A life without Duchenne. And because of people in the world like you, it's gonna happen. So thank you, Amy, Taylor, and Eric. I love you guys. Thank you, Jim and Karen. You two are incredible inspiration. And thank you to the Jar of Hope board and everyone in this room for thinking I'm worthy of the kick-ass disease or kick-ass award, wherever it went. So thank you for this. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Wyatt.